because I've only been to TV. It feels so natural to me.
So you see life as 7 minutes.
Well, it's actually, in a way, you know, plays have that. You know, plays have act breaks. Books have chapters. You know, and originally, many, you know, 100 years ago, they were getting published a week at a time.
Dickens.
Yeah, so they needed that cliffhanger. But it's a commercial medium. You know, I don't know why that doesn't bother me more than it does. It's just I've gotten so used to it, and it seems so natural.
But you're also playing it in the meta sense. At the end of the season, we don't even know what's going to happen when we come back. And that's starting to, I think, what makes the show, kind of reinvigorates the show.
Well, that kind of is what we did at the end of season 3. It seems wrong. I never expected it to go 3 seasons, and when I wrote in the pilot episode that they're on a 3-year fellowship, I never expected them the show to last that long, and it seemed unnatural that people would stay working for that man for a long time.
Yeah. So you didn't use a lot of foreshadowing. Maybe things just worked out. I remember somewhere in season 4 or 5, Cuddy says, "Well, if I ever had a kid, you'd never babysit him." That's for sure. I think in season 7.
People say things. People say things.
But did you foreshadow? Did you plan?
No,
Or did you just
no.
realize later? Wait a sec, she said that
No.
back there. We can use that.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, what about the real shock of going to an insane asylum? Tell us about that process, where you made that decision and the bravery, what it took, and the network's potential response, and who knows, what were you up against there? How did that come about?
That came about, actually, that dates back to Cal Penn deciding to work in the White House. He gave us significant notice, and so we sat down at our Christmas break, and the writers all got together, and we actually did a writer's room.
Could you tell the audience what that means as a writer's room? Some people may not know.
Just, the writers get together in a room. And talk about it. I mean, a lot of shows literally map out beat by beat their stories. Ours is much broader than that. It's like, what is going to happen in this episode? You know, Cuddy and House are going to get into a fight. You know, it'd be stuff like that. I mean, it'd be a little more specific than that, but not a lot more specific than that. And then the next episode, it'll resolve or it won't resolve. Our episodes are generally standalone episodes with just a little bit that bleeds over. Although the tone is always affected by what's going on. You don't have to have seen the previous episode, but if Cuddy's in a fight with House, that's going to bleed throughout it. And you're going to have, you know, I hate doing differential diagnosis scenes, which are those scenes where where they decide what, you know, in House's ever office, where they decide what they think it is. I'm really going off on a tangent, but that's something that Paul Haggis said to me early on. He said, a good scene either advances the character or advances the plot. A great scene does both. And we strive to do both. And the scenes with the medicine will almost always be a couple lines of medicine, House taking a shot at Chase about something going on now, Chase shooting back, and that keeps, aside from everything else, it keeps them entertaining, keeps the audience off balance a little bit, because they're not sure what matters exactly. I mean, when you lay in clues in scripts, you don't want the audience to know it's a clue. You know,
And you're giving us exposition in an interesting way that we need.
Exposition is the most challenging thing to write, and so you want it to come from conflict, and you want it to come from humor or something, or you want it to come from someplace the audience doesn't realize that they're being spoon-fed. And the other challenge, of course, is doctors talking to doctors with an audience listening. You can't. It's just a tricky thing to do, because writers will write something. Would a doctor actually say that to another doctor? Would a doctor explain what that condition is to another doctor? You know, what was your question?
Well, I didn't